Good morning. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Kevin Hampton. I'm the Executive Director of Communications for the Ferguson-Florissant School District. We appreciate you coming and helping us communicate our new safety and security plan. This morning you will hear from our Superintendent, Dr. Joseph Davis, our Board of Education President, Leslie Hogshead, Florissant Police Chief Timothy Fagan, and from St. Louis County Police, Lieutenant Aaron Schaefer. We also appreciate, because our administration building is located in Hazelwood, we have Captain Hudnick from the Hazelwood Police Department with us this morning. We appreciate you being here as well. After the comments from our speakers, we will be available for you for any questions. And we appreciate the rest of our guests too. We also have our representative from Sam Page's office, the County Executive, Barb Fraser. And so we thank you for being here today too. At this time, I'd like to call Dr. Davis to the podium.
Thank you, Mr. Hampton. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. I'd like to welcome you on behalf of the Ferguson-Florissant School District Board of Education. We're excited for the first day of school tomorrow. We know that students need to feel safe in order to learn. In light of the many school shootings and recent incidences of weapons on our campuses and Governor Parsons' School Safety Task Force initiative, we are launching a school safety campaign called Let's Be Clear, No Weapons in Our Schools. Places like Parkland, Columbine, and Sandy Hook are instantly familiar because of the school violence that occurred there. We want to prevent that from happening in our schools, and more, we, like every community, want safe and high-quality schools. Over the last several months, district leaders, with the guidance of our Director of Safety and Security, Vershawn House, have met with students, staff, parents, and community members, and we've listened to their thoughts and concerns regarding school safety and security in our community. In response to those concerns, Ferguson-Florissant School District is launching a safety and security campaign entitled Let's Be Clear, No Weapons in Our Schools. This campaign is based on our comprehensive safety and security plan we call CUBES, C-U-B-E-S. And it stands for the following 5 points that I will explain. The C in CUBES is for clear communication. We, as a school district, commit to keeping open lines of communication with our students, our parents, and our staff. We know that good communication is two-way communication. We commit to keeping you informed and listening to you. The U is for clear understanding. We will have additional SROs, and we have many of them in our audience today, additional SROs in our secondary schools, and security officers in all of our elementary schools. They will focus on building relationships and educating our students about safety, the students' role as citizens, and how to communicate and collaborate on how to have a safe school. The heart of this initiative is to build relationships and to bridge the gap so that all of our students will grow to become lifelong contributors to the success in the societies in which they work and live. The B, a popular one, is for clear book bags. The district has purchased and is providing clear book bags for all 6th through 12th grade students. Students also will receive a small zippered pouch in the bag to conceal personal items of value. 6th through 12th grade students will only be permitted to use clear book bags starting with the first day of school, which is tomorrow. The E stands for clear expectations. We have revised our policy, our student expectation code, to create a more restorative environment for our students while communicating clear expectations. We expect all of our students to commit to our AAA pledge and that is to have great attendance, great attitudes, and academics, as we expect 100% of our students to be successful by being ready for day one, which is tomorrow. And finally, the S is for clear supports. We will continue to use pssstworld.com as a tool for reporting safety and security concerns. And we will expand our use of CI3T, which is our comprehensive, integrated, three-tier model of support to provide academic, social, emotional, and behavioral supports for our students. We're expanding our advisory in our high schools and middle schools, and each secondary student will have an advisor to serve as an advocate and as a guide. Our students also have the supports of counselors, social workers, and others as we work to expand the services to support our students who have experienced trauma or need additional mental health supports. So we're excited, very excited, about starting school tomorrow morning. And we want all of our students safe, and we want all of our adults safe. And let me be clear, we expect no weapons in our schools. At this time, I'd like to call to the podium the Ferguson-Florissant Board of Education President, Ms. Leslie Hogshead, to make comments. Ms. Hogshead.
Good morning, everyone. The board is so excited to start this new school year, and we're hopeful that the restructuring project is going to create a great opportunity for the children of our community. We have heard the safety concerns from our community and the call for greater safety and security measures to protect our students and our staff. In addition, the board met this summer with members of law enforcement and mayors of the area to gain insight from their expertise regarding school safety. In response to that advice and community concerns, the board directed Dr. Davis and district leaders to develop a comprehensive safety plan. The board fully supports the plan shared by Dr. Davis this morning and has nearly doubled our safety and security budget for the 2019-2020 school year to implement our commitment to student and safety. We're looking forward to a great year where our students are learning in a safe environment. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you, Mrs. Hogshead. At this time, I'd like to invite to the podium Florissant Police Department Chief, Mr. Tim Fagan, to the podium. Chief Fagan.
Good morning. I appreciate the opportunity to be here and speak to you. I just want to echo Dr. Davis's statements and say that the Florissant Police Department is proud to partner with the Ferguson-Florissant School District, and we certainly applaud Dr. Davis, the school administration, the Board of Education, and all of his staff for the initiatives that they're taking in order to try to keep the school safe. From the police department's perspective, certainly a safe school district contributes to a safe community, and a safe community to a safe school district. It's imperative that we work hand in hand and try to accomplish those goals. And again, I applaud the school district for the steps they're taking. We're in full and complete support. We look forward to continuing what is a fantastic relationship with the school district as the school year moves forward, and we're excited about what lies ahead. So thank you all.
Awesome. Thank you, Chief Fagan. At this time, I'd like to invite to the podium Lieutenant Colonel Aaron Schaefer. He will come and speak on behalf of St. Louis County.
Thank you. I really appreciate this. This is a new partnership for the St. Louis County Police Department, and one we're very proud of. St. Louis County Police Department partners with 13 school districts now in St. Louis County, providing 44 school resource officers. There's approximately 20 school resource officers here from Florissant Police Department, Hazelwood Police Department, and St. Louis County Police Department. I want to thank you for the hard work you do. I also want to thank the parents that are in this room, the students, the staff, the faculty, and the leadership of Dr. Davis and the Ferguson-Florissant School Board. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. We are looking forward to the school year. As Dr. Davis mentioned, it starts tomorrow, and we see this as a great opportunity to engage with the students and the faculty and the parents of this school district. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much to everybody who has come out today to support us, and the members of the audience. Many of our administrators are here as well, media. So at this time, I'll take an opportunity to answer any questions that you may have. So the floor is open.
Talk a little bit concerns about student privacy with these bags, and is this going to, will students possibly still be searched? I don't know if that's standard operating procedure now, but
Yeah.
kids get searched when they come into the building.
Yeah, that's a good question. We actually had a training yesterday with our SROs that are with us, our security officers, and our administrators. We had Lashley and Bear are our attorneys for the school district, for the school board. And Attorney Larry Watsack did a presentation just yesterday in this room, about 45 minutes, really good discussion around search and seizure. So your question is timely because we want to make sure that we are in line with making sure we're keeping our students safe. To the privacy issue, the clear book bag, certainly we know what our data tells us, and so that's one of the purposes of that. But we also, I mentioned as well, will have zipper pouches that are opaque. So that you can't see through those, and so students, I've often got questions from moms and dads about privacy issues concerning personal needs. So we do offer that opportunity for students. So we've given them a zipper pouch as well that is opaque, so that students can put those personal items there. You know, we, in our training yesterday, went through a couple of reasons of why we could or could not do a search, and we want to make sure that we're keeping our students safe. We don't want anyone to feel violated. The issue is safety, and there are times that a search may be required, but it's going to depend on the circumstance. There's no blanket way to say, yes, we'll do this or not. What we will do is, adults in particular, is, like I always say, take full responsibility for the safety of our schools and our students and our adults, and full responsibility for their education.
These bags were distributed free of charge for the students and families.
Yes, that is a part of what Ms. Hogshead mentioned a minute ago, a part of the budget increase. The board spent money so that it wouldn't be a burden on parents. We try to learn from everything that happens in our district. We use data often to make sure that we're making good decisions that are sound. And so we felt, you know, in light of many of the things that have happened across this country, right? Not just in schools, in malls and Walmarts and shootings that are happening. We have to be very sensitive to those kinds of things. So the board decided that, yes, we would purchase those so that we could give them to our secondary families, 6th through 12th grade, so that it wouldn't be a burden on parents, to take away that barrier to, you know, quality. So yes, the board has purchased those. Other questions?
I remember in high school how much I wanted a North Face backpack. I'm curious if you are worried about concerns for student expression at all, and if kids would be able to decorate these bags.
Yeah, that's come up too. I think you've probably read our FAQs because that question has come up quite a bit. And let me say that the purpose of the clear book bags is for safety. And I've gotten that question from families. They decorate here and there. So we've come up with some really, I think, unique ideas. I mean, even in our STEAM schools, where we have uniforms, and we'll be having that conversation in a broader way this year for the other schools. But to your question around whether they can decorate those, so some schools have gotten, so identifying the bags is going to be important because all of them look alike. And so we've got name tags. We've given schools the autonomy to do that. And there's an opportunity for students to individualize their bags through those name tags. We want the bags to remain transparent because of safety. If students start to decorate them and put all kinds of things on them, it defeats the entire purpose. We want to be able to see in those bags, so we do not want anything on the bags, so that I directly answer your question. But also the individuality part. And I love North Face, Columbia, and so many other products. But my point is that we want them to be individualized so they can have some of that autonomy, but at the same time, keep our focus where it needs to be, and that is on safety. We've got to make sure that, and it's less about structure and rules and more about mindset. I said before, and I'll keep saying that it's about changing mindset. What we want in our district is quality. That is, to me, when we look at the achievement gap and so many other gaps between kids of color, all kinds of gaps that are out there, it's really about access to quality. And we want our students to have a quality education so they graduate not just with a diploma, but the skill sets to be productive in life. And that's what we're after. Wow, that's a big question. Quite a bit. These last couple of years has been about engaging our community when you think about the entire restructuring process. So few districts across this country, and I've worked in North Carolina, I've worked in Illinois, I've worked in Virginia, and now Missouri. Few schools have done some of this work, but few districts across this country have undertaken what this board has done. And it has been, and the focus has been on quality education. So I want to keep that at the center of everything I'm talking about here. But over the last 2 years in particular, we've tried to engage our communities. One of the things I've said throughout this entire process, and our board president can attest to this, and Dr. Thurman, who's also with us, she's one of our other board members who was president as well. We have tried to make sure that you may not agree with everything that has happened, but we want to make sure you know what's happening. I've been in people's homes, been in libraries, and throughout the community to inform our public about the changes that we're making. And so this restructuring process, so quickly we have pre-K2 schools because testing begins in 3rd grade. And we have to make sure that our children are prepared before they get to 3rd grade. And that means that principals, and all of our principals in the room right now, that those principals of K2 schools, pre-K2 schools, they can focus on child development. And all the way through, we have 6th grade centers, or 3-5 schools, then 6th grade centers, because we know failure happens quite a bit at 6th grade and at 9th grade. And then in our high schools, getting them ready for post-high school opportunities, whether it be college or military. Here are some things that we've done in our high schools that I'm just ecstatic about. And my son's going to be a 9th grader in our schools next year. So as a dad, that's even more important to me. We have, our AP seminar courses at McClure High School. We have our IB program that we got approved through International Baccalaureate for North. We also have our new 9-12 STEAM program, as well as our innovation school. So we have thought about it, the board has thought about it from at ages 3 years old all the way through 18 years old. And that's a huge shift for a district. 60%, 50 to 60% of our teachers have been moved for next year. That's huge because it has upset teachers who have been in places for 20 years. But what we have committed to is improving the quality of education for our schools. And I'll end by saying, when we went to ratification last year, our teachers, though they had so much that they were impacted by, we agreed on they ratified the contract at 96% last year. That's huge because I know there were some teachers who were affected by it. That it was, that change is hard. What I'm saying is that it takes a community. It takes everybody in this community. Everybody matters to me. And I've said this before, I'll keep saying that the strength of our district is in our people. It's not about programs, and although those things are important, the strength is in our people and making sure that all of our employees, and me included, we feel valued. And the board does that, and I try to transfer that on to our communities because, listen, we know what to do. We know how to make education great for our children. And so they're waiting on us. And I personally take the leadership in taking the full responsibility of that. I'm not sure if I understand your question.
If you have a cutoff at 6th grade, why are the younger students not included?
You mean with the, so the plan is comprehensive. I think data is probably the easiest way to answer that question. We often, Dr. Jadali is with us, he's one of our assistant superintendents, and so we have so many ways of looking at data. And here's what our data tells us. Our data tells us that the weapons that we've had on our campuses have been at our secondary schools. What we also know is that our data tells us that it's been in book bags. I've gotten questions around athletic bags and other kinds of bags that students bring to school. But what we have done is taken a look at our data, and our data tells us that that's the best place to invest our resources. And we use the same approach in everything, not just with the book bags, but the entire plan. The plan is comprehensive. While the bags only begin at 6th grade and goes through 12th grade and doesn't affect our elementary school students in terms of pre-K through 5, the entire safety plans is for everybody. And so we know that everybody benefits from having a mindset shift to what is my role as a citizen to make our schools safe. We want our pre-K students, our kindergarten students, and all of them to take ownership in their space. So that data is the way that we've made that decision. Yeah, so we've added at our high schools in particular. We had one SRO at each of our high schools, and now we'll have 4 SROs at our high schools, one for each grade level, because we know how important it is for our students to have great relationships with uniformed officers. Look, we know what's happened in our country, and we know, the things that have happened in our history. What we want is to make sure that our students feel and see our officers and our security officers, our school resource officers as allies. And that relationship building is the message that the board has sent to me and the message I'm sending to the community. So we've added, 3 additional ones at our high schools, and we had 1 at the middle school level. Now we'll have 2 at the middle school levels. Now that includes 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. I mentioned 6th grade centers earlier. Both of our 6th grade centers are in proximity to our 7th and 8th grade schools. So, for example, Johnson Wabash is a 6th grade center, and they feed into Ferguson Middle School, and Wedgwood, a 6th grade center, feeds into Cross Keys. And so those 2 campuses, 4 buildings, will have 2 resource officers on those campuses, whereas they had 1 before. Now, we didn't have any security officers in our elementary schools, so all of our elementary schools will have security officers. And again, that's about relationships. It's about who our officers are, how our students see them when they see uniformed officers, and building those relationships. Yes, sir.
Are the district security officers armed?
So our district security officers are not armed. Our school resource officers are. Yes, sir. All right. Any other questions?
Numbers of incidents last school year you've mentioned finding weapons in students' belongings. How many times has that happened, and what are you finding?
So I don't have the data in front of me, but what I can tell you is that and every time we've had, I'll just use guns, for example, we had 3 on our campuses last year. And every time we found a weapon on our campus, we've always informed our community, especially the school that it impacted most. Certainly, we can dive deeper into the data with more details. But what I can tell you is that every time we've had a weapon on our campus in regards to a gun in particular, it's been because of anonymous reporting. And we value that. And that's because of the relationships that principals and administrators and adults are building in schools. And that's the message we want to keep honing in on. I was just at North last night in a parent meeting and got some questions from parents and spent a good bit of time just having some intimate conversations with parents about concerns that they may have and commendations, because we did get some of those as well. And I say to parents, listen, this plan, the book bags, and all the other things that we're doing is no guarantee. What we can guarantee you is that we're going to work hard for our children every day. If anybody had a way that worked, we'd give it out, because we want all children safe across this country. But what we are committed to is making sure we have a safe community, that our children feel safe, that our adults feel safe, and that we take responsibility for that. Because time is out for us to keep processing kids through, not just in our district, but across this country, and they graduate and not have the skill sets. And then employers have to reinvest in education. That's our job and our duty to make sure children get educated well. I'm first generation college, and I can tell you that it's because of great teachers who impacted my life that has made the difference in my life. And that's what we want to do for all of our students, is to make sure that we give them that opportunity. And so, no weapons. We want to be really clear about that. But more, we want to change the mindset of our stakeholders. Listen, thank you all so much this morning for being here. We really appreciate your time. And we start school bright and early at 7:25 in our middle schools tomorrow morning, 8:05 in our high schools, 8:55 and 9:10 at our elementary schools. And we are ready for day 1. All right, onward. Thank you.